right up your alley as a guy that seems to want to meet everybody?
Yeah, this is great. Obviously, I think we've been doing it for 45 years now. I think they were saying. So it's great that a bunch of smiling faces out there, and they're happy to be here, and we're happy to go out there and skate with them. It's for such a good cause. So yeah, it's going to be a great day. We're looking forward to it.
What's it like around the town when you've been kind of interacting with fans this season?
It's always positive. Say what you want. Negative things can be said here and there, online, whatever. But every time I bumped into someone, they're always pulling for us. Even after a win or a loss, they're always positive spirits. So it's nice when you get that kind of support in the community, and it just makes it easier to go out and play for them.
Does it ever surprise you that merely by just showing up to places, you guys have the power to brighten people's days the way that you do?
Yeah, it's a feeling that. It's just you have so much gratitude and just being able to do that, because again we see ourselves as just normal dudes that show up to the rink, and we know that people put us on a pedestal that we're in the spotlight a lot, and we realize that in such a big market there's a lot of people that do look up to us. So any way we can help the community doing stuff like this, just making one kid's day just that little bit better is it makes us feel just as good. So we're happy to do this stuff.
You're probably not old enough to remember Dave Winfield in the '92 Blue Jays, but he famously said Dave wants noise.
Yeah.
Austin sort of did the same thing last night. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I mean, noise is noise. Every building can be quiet at times, every building can be loud at times, and it doesn't matter when you're on the road, at home, energy's energy. So the louder the building is, the more guys get up for it. So, that being said, again, it can be quiet at times when you're going through a little rough patch here, but, when the building gets rocking, like I said, they could be booing you at an away rink, or it could be your home fans trying to lift the spirits. We feed off that energy. So, just the more energy in the building, the better. So, yeah.
What's it mean when it's, Austin stepping up and saying that?
Yeah, he's our captain, and we look up to him. We follow him in a battle, and what he says, we're right there with him. So, again, it's one of those things that it might have just been a lapse in the game yesterday, and we weren't playing our best hockey at some point. So, again, we really rely on that energy from the crowd. So, yeah.
What says that about how he handles the spotlight? I'm sure he's going to have a pretty long line there, and he's constantly in the spotlight. What have you learned about Austin in that respect this year?
He's so good at it, and something that he does well is his highs aren't too high and his lows aren't too low. So it's such a hard thing to do, especially as a pro athlete, because he can go out and score a hat trick or something, and then we lose a game, and he's got to answer those tough questions. So it's good to see him, unfazed by some of the negative stuff, and then when he does have a big night, he's not super on his high horse either. He's just down to earth. He keeps it in check. So it's a skill that he has to do that.
Tough to see Nice leave the game. I'm not sure if you had a chance to talk to him. How's he holding up?
Yeah, he's good. He's in good spirits, and he's a tough kid. He's built like a brick, house, and he's got that muscle and that added layer. So again, I think he's just a little bit banged up, but he won't be out too much longer. I already seen him today, and he doesn't want to be sitting out very long. So I think he's just trying to do whatever he can to get back as soon as possible.
What did you think of that Reeves fight last night?
Just like what everyone else saw, and I got a front row seat to it too. So pretty cool to see two gladiators going at it like that. And I knew that Olivier was a tough kid, but he held his own really good, and obviously Revo's in there, and they were just swinging for the fences. So it's nice to see some of that old-time hockey come back a little bit.
So Matt Murray's up, Dennis Hildeby's down. You kind of went through what Dennis was going through, called up, sent down, tried to develop in between. Any recollections about that? Any advice for Dennis for when these things happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's his first experience really of being in the league, right, and playing, and it's not an easy league to go through, and there are a lot of ups and downs. And what I can say is he's a special goalie. I see him in practice every day, and he doesn't let in a shot. So it's pretty awesome to see. He has the talent, he has the mental capacity for it. Just sometimes results don't go the way you want, and I've had plenty of experience of that, and I have no doubt that he's going to be great for us in the future. And with that said, Murray's a great goalie as well. So I have a lot of faith in all the goalies in our organization, and I think that's a testament to the coaches and the management of building a solid group.
What don't you see about how difficult it is to move from the AHL and really stick in the NHL?
Maybe I'll write a book about that. No, it's a different type of pressure, I think. When you kind of work building your game, getting comfortable in the American League, and you move up to the NHL, and it is a different animal. Especially, it's a tough spot Both are tough. Like when you're playing a lot, it's tough in terms of you have to be always on and always ready. And then when you're not playing a lot, it's tough because you don't really get in a rhythm. So it's hard to do, to come in and having not played for a week or two and expect and perform, and especially games where you don't get a lot of action. It's hard to get into the game. So whatever situation you're in, it's always difficult, and I think that's something you learn to kind of embrace with this job.
What did you think about getting the game off last night? Craig had said it had been an emotional few games for you, and obviously you played a lot. Were you feeling like you could benefit from a break?
It's two-sided. From one point, I always want to be in the net. I want to be helping my team as much as I can. So you feel a little weird, especially when you get in a rhythm of playing. It's a little weird to come out and you don't feel quite right, honestly. And at the same time, it is good, and I understand it's good to manage, and it's good to keep your body and your mind healthy. So I see both standpoints. It's like most things in life. It's not all good. It's not all bad.
What do you think of Matt Murray, the way he's come all the way back from his hip surgery and missing almost all of last season and all that?
Yeah, I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. It's not easy to make the NHL once, but to almost make it twice, like he's come back from that injury, and I think it really speaks to his drive and his motivation. That's something that I saw a lot of this summer. He's had a long road back, and he's a special goalie, and he's proved that in his past.
Appreciate about Easter Seals skates.
Yeah, it's a nice experience when you get to interact with the community. I think what's cool is I've done some work with Holland Bloorview, with the kids working with physical disabilities and different things like that. So it's I understand a bit of how special it is for the kids and how much it can impact their days. So it's good to do this, and no practice today, so we get to focus on the kids.
Does it ever surprise you, Joe, that just by the mere ability to show up to an event like this, you're able to have such an impact on the people who are there?
Yeah, I think that's something you learn more and more as your career goes on. Is just your presence has an impact, which is really special, because imagine how much more your words have if even just being here has that much of an impact. So it is awesome, and you see each kid and how much it brightens their day when you interact with them a little bit, and again, just by being here. So yeah, it's a special event.
Austin is always pretty popular, has a long line, always in the spotlight. I'm curious your perspective this season with him wearing the C, how he's handled everything.
Well, he's a special player, and I think we've known that for a long time, and I think this is his next step, right? It's a whole different animal being a special player and being a special leader and a special captain. I think he's handled it very well, and I think he's going to continue to grow into being a great leader. It is funny to see, not funny, but it's awesome to see the line and how much the fans love him. And I think at the military night that we had like a few different lines, and you have like Austin's line, and Willie's line, and Mo's line, and Nizy and I went over and tried to make our own line. We had no one in our line. They're all in Austin's. We're like, hey, come hang out with us. And it was pretty funny, but yeah, it's awesome. The fans love these guys, and for good reason. They put on great performances, and they're great people and great leaders.
You're kind of caught off guard. Austin kind of called out the fans a little bit last night, said they could have been louder after the fight. What's it mean to you as a teammate when he says that?
I think the important thing is that we know we have probably the most extensive fan base in hockey and probably across a lot of sports as well. And we love our fans, and we feel their support, not only in Scotiabank and on the road. I think, there's places where we'll have more fans than the other team, places like Buffalo. And so, I think what's important is that we love our fans, and we love when they're loud and they're rocking, and that energy is special for us. Like for me, going back to the playoffs last year, I believe it was Game 6 where we beat Boston. It was like 2-1, right? And like that experience of how loud the fans were will forever be in my mind, and how much energy they bring and how much support that they bring for us is unbelievable. So it's our job to continue to give them a reason to cheer and a reason to be loud and be there for us. But yeah, I have no doubt that we have the best fan base in the world.